Imagine walking into a grocery store 20 years ago with a single $20 bill. You'd walk out with bags full of bread, milk, eggs, and maybe even a steak for dinner. Now, fast forward to today, and that same $20 bill barely covers a fancy coffee and a sandwich. This is not just a story about prices going up, it is the story of a currency that is running out of breath. We call it the tired dollar problem. It is a phenomenon where the world's primary reserve currency is losing its stamina, burdened by decades of debt, inflation, and a changing global landscape. In this video, we are going to break down exactly why the dollar is exhausted and what that means for your bank account. To understand why the dollar is tired, we have to remember when it was the strongest athlete in the world. After World War II, the US dollar became the world's reserve currency, meaning international trade and oil were priced in greenbacks. At that time, the dollar was literally as good as gold because it was backed by physical gold reserves. However, in 1971, that connection was severed. The dollar became a fiat currency, backed only by the full faith and credit of the government. For a long time, this worked because the US economy was the undisputed powerhouse. But being the world's reserve currency is like carrying a heavy backpack for 80 years straight. Eventually, your legs start to give out. There are three main reasons why the dollar is feeling the weight right now. First is the massive expansion of the money supply. When the government prints more money to handle crises, the value of every existing dollar in your pocket gets diluted. It is like adding water to a soup, you have more liquid, but it tastes much weaker. Second is the skyrocketing national debt. As the debt grows, the cost of just paying the interest becomes a massive burden on the economy. Third, we are seeing the rise of de-dollarization. Other countries are starting to trade in their own currencies or even gold to avoid being dependent on the US financial system. When fewer people need the dollar to trade, its global prestige begins to fade, leaving it looking a bit worn out. So, how does a tired dollar affect you, the average American? It shows up as a hidden tax. Even if your salary stays the same, your purchasing power is shrinking. This is why it feels like you are working harder just to stay in the same place. It is not just about the price of eggs, it is about the long-term erosion of your savings. If your money is sitting in a traditional savings account earning 0.01% interest while the dollar is losing value at 5% or 6% a year, you are effectively losing money every single day. The tired dollar makes big life goals, like buying a home or retiring early, feel like they are constantly moving further out of reach. The dollar isn't going to disappear tomorrow, it is still the most dominant currency on the planet. But the era of it being an effortless superpower is changing. To navigate this tired dollar era, you have to think differently about wealth. This means looking beyond just cash and exploring assets that historically hold value when currencies weaken, such as diversified stocks, real estate, or even commodities. The goal isn't to panic, it's to be aware. By understanding that the dollar is under pressure, you can make smarter moves to protect your hard-earned money. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the world of finance and global economics. We will see you in the next one.